Text E3 to G4TXT, that's 44898, and let us know exactly what you think. Now, Morgan, I hear you're actually with Stan Lee. Is that true?
Yes, I am here with living legend Stan Lee. Thanks for joining us. Now, you are a fixture at Comic-Con. What brings you to E3?
Well, I thought this was Comic-Con, but I think since I'm here already, I might as well. No, actually, they have this great new Spider-Man game. I love Activision anyway. I'm here every year, and I figured a year without Activision is like a day without sunshine.
All right, so what's the new game called?
I beg your pardon?
What's the game called?
It's Spider-Man Friends and Foes, or Foes and Friends, or something very similar.
And what's so special about it?
It has all these great villains. You can be a villain, you can be a hero, you can be an ally. He allies with some of the villains, he fights the other villains, and you take your pick, and it's really great.
So who is the game aimed at? Is this for hardcore gamers? Is there a lot of blood going on?
I'd like to think it's aimed for everybody on the face of the earth, but they're specifically targeting it for kids about 8 to 12.
And so I'm kind of excited about the new co-op features. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Only if somebody explains to me what they are.
So we hear that there's co-op features so people can jump in and play at any time.
Oh, that's right. I didn't know what you meant. I thought you meant the co-op. They moved to a new place, and it was opposed to a condominium, but I see what you mean. Yeah, anybody can jump in anytime, pick one of the roles, play it, and it's really great. It's hard to concentrate on what I'm saying because I see myself on the monitor, and I look so excitingly interesting. But anyway, I'll try my best.
Are we going to see you at Comic-Con?
Of course you are, but there'll be about 100,000 other people there, so you'll have to look real close.
Well, we are definitely going to be there. We're going to have a huge presence there, and don't worry, I bet we're going to look you up and we'll find you.
I'll be looking forward to seeing you there.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. Back to you, Olivia.
Okay, thanks, Morgan. And Stan, don't worry. Kevin's always distracted when he sees himself on TV. It's very difficult. You guys, later on today's show, we'll get to play the highly anticipated new PS3 title, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. Here's a behind-the-scenes look at the company that created it.
Naughty Dog has come a long way since the popular Crash Bandicoot franchise debuted for PlayStation in 1996. A few years later, the company created Jak and Daxter, a big hit for the PS2. Now, these innovative game makers are going into uncharted territory.
When we looked at what we wanted to do after Jak and Daxter, we had a lot of options open to us. We are now working on our new franchise, Uncharted Drake's Fortune. With the PlayStation 3, we felt that it brought us the power to tackle a real-world environment, something we could set in the modern day and still immerse that player in that experience.
This action-adventure game features Nathan Drake, a descendant of famed explorer Sir Francis Drake. Nathan is a modern-day treasure hunter and travels to an uncharted land to find his family fortune.
He is an everyman. He really survives by his tenacity and resourcefulness and gets by luck sometimes. We wanted the character to have a very human nature to him. We wanted him to, be fallible, and you actually feel the stress that he feels as you're playing the game.
One of the many technical challenges that Naughty Dog faced was creating a realistic environment rather than the fantasy-based worlds in past games.
It feels like now we're making feature films, and with about the same budgets, about the same crews, and about the same amount of time. So you almost just have to work smarter and harder to make it happen.
This is so not cool!
Not only do we have to make sure the gameplay is fun, but we have to make sure that his eyeball reflects light correctly, and that his eyelashes look correct, and his clothes are wrinkling correctly, and things like that.
Naughty Dog hopes that the Uncharted game will attract new fans, but entertain longtime Naughty Dog gamers.
So I think people that have been longtime fans of Naughty Dog's games won't feel completely shocked or left out in the cold. It's got the sense of interconnected streaming world that never drops you out of the experience. It's all very Naughty Dog.
And we couldn't agree more.
Exciting. Yes. The adventure game is back.
And it's not point and click.
No,
I'm okay
it's
with
not.
That
now, our exclusive live demo of Uncharted happens right here later today.
Yes, but coming up next, more news from the floor as our correspondents get all up in the guts of this expo.
Very descriptive.
Well,
Plus, we check back with Morgan for the latest from the ongoing Game Developer Media events.
And later on, Blair will take a peek at the Wii game that everybody's been waiting for. Of course, it's Super Mario Galaxy.
Everyone's excited about that.
I cannot wait. Stay tuned, everybody. It's coming right up.
E307.
All right, well, we're here with Denny Thorley. You are the president of Day One Studios, the company that's making Fracture. I think for a little context for our viewers, you also were behind the MechAssault games.
Absolutely.
All right.
Studios did both MechAssault 1 and 2.
So let's jump into Fracture here. Now, let's get some background of the story inside of this game.
Well, basically, the East Coast, which is called the Atlantic Alliance, has developed technology in a cybernetic way, and the West Coast is done with genetics. And they've got a little bit of a rift going on, and basically genetic engineering becomes outlawed, and the Pacific Coast says no way and decides to secede from the Union. So we're at a point right now, it's kind of the flashpoint, happens right at Alcatraz Island, where the Atlantic Alliance says stand down, and the Republicans, Pacificans say no way, we're leaving. So this is where the first gun gets fired.
So not only is there internal strife within the United States, apparently weaponry has advanced to a rather remarkable state where you can affect the ground around you. How did that come about inside of the game, and how do you actually use it inside of it?
Well, to be honest with you, what we were looking for is one, more interactivity, and what you see John just throw right here, our character is Mason Briggs, and he's a demolition expert, and he can raise and lower the terrain with the weapons that he carries. He raised the terrain with a tectonic grenade, and this can be used for cover. It kind of reshapes the battlefield, so it helps him decide how he wants to fight his battles. The subsonic grenades take the hills back down. So we can use the moving of the terrain. We can use them for tactical advantage. We can use it to destroy the enemy. We can use it to get to higher ground or solve puzzles. Right now, John's deciding how he wants to take out the enemy, and he's going to get to this hill and then deal with the enemy coming up.
Now, I assume the enemy AI is also going to be good enough that you're going to have to use these tactics against them.
Absolutely. One of the challenges that we have in creating this deformable terrain is the AI has to use it as well. So they'll use some of your tactics against you, but they'll also use if we create a tectonic mound, they use that for cover as well. So they are dynamically changing how they interact with the game. And because no player plays it the same way, each time you go and play the game, it plays a little differently.
Now, the way that you go through the game, does it follow a linear model, or are you more sort of open world in the way that you're changing everything around you?
It's a little bit of both. You're going into an area where we're allowing the player a great deal of variety of how he solves the objective, but he is given an objective so that he can kind of follow it. And early in the mission, you're seeing mission 2 right here. John's going to try to take out some anti-aircraft guns. And what this is just getting people used to the idea of terrain deformation, because it's very powerful and very flexible.
So it sounds like it also, like your powers in terms of how you can affect everything around you will advance throughout the game.
There's no doubt. As soon as John takes out this anti-aircraft gun, we'll show you some of the more advanced weapons really quick.
Now, what is the technology that you're having to take advantage of to be able to do this in the game? This isn't quite typical.
Well, quite honestly, this could only happen on next generation systems.
Right.
If you saw the profile of what the CPU's doing when we're doing all this terrain manipulation and the physics, we are maxing out both these machines, the PS3 and the 360. Now, when you put and weave everything together, this gives an experience to the player that they haven't seen before. Watch, if you go here, John's going to go up and use what is a Pacifican weapon, which is called the Bangalore. And this actually shoots a rocket that travels underground. So, and then John decides when it's going to blow up. So he's going to come up to a rock here, and if he wants to root out an enemy behind a rock or some hard point, he can fire it and then blow it up behind the rock. Okay, so really the enemies, there's a lot of variability in terms of how it gets played.
Now, also in terms of the environments that you're going to play in, this looks definitely like a wasteland or something that was once.
Actually, this is right outside San Francisco.
Really? I used to live in San Francisco. Oh, hi.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I was right under the bridge that I lived. I used to cry myself to sleep. But what is the variety of environments that you're going to find throughout the game?
There's a significant variety of environments. The only one we're showing right now is the San Francisco. A big tectonic shift has happened due to some climate change, and the bay is dry. And so you're fighting right at the base of San Francisco and the base of Alcatraz.
Now, looking back on sort of what you've learned about making games with the MechAssault, so how you've taken that knowledge and applied it here to Fracture?
I gotta be honest with you, MechAssault is very much about exaggerated power and very accessible. It's very easy to get in the game and play, and we've kept that with getting into Fracture. Also, our DNA is kind of multiplayer. MechAssault was one of the initial titles on Live, and this is an exceptional multiplayer game because everything that you're seeing on the screen, you can actually do in multiplayer. So when you and I play, if you're beating me down, I can throw tectonic mound and weave my way around and try to get out of trouble. And so the game is constantly and dynamically changing.
All right, well, that's good, because you just doubly sold me on it. Now,
Excellent.
let's just make it clear, this is for the PS3 and the Xbox 360.
Yes, it is.
We're going to see it next year. Do you have any time frame for that?
Maybe next year about this time.
Exactly what I wanted to hear. Well, Denny, thank you so much. The game's looking good. Can't wait to
Excellent.
see what it turns into.
Thank you very much.
All right, now we're going to go to Joel Gordine on the Stickam to see what you think about Fracture.
Thank you, Adam. I've got Troy from Los Angeles, California here on the Stickam with me. Troy, what are some of your favorite LucasArts titles?
Hello?
Hey, Troy, what's up? You're live.
Oh, okay. This is Caleb from Texas.
Oh, Caleb, excellent. Excellent.
Yes, okay.
Wonderful to have you, Caleb. Tell me, I love it. Tell me, what are some of your favorite LucasArts titles, Caleb?
Oh, definitely Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I was sold on the first one.
Yeah, now Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic was amazing. It brings me to a great point. LucasArts in the past has been known for great innovation in their games. Monkey Island, Full Throttle, Grim Fandango. Lately, we're seeing a lot of Star Wars titles, to be frank. And Fracture represents a departure from that. Do you think that is increasing your excitement for it?
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially, I mean, whenever I first started playing LucasArts games was on the Nintendo, and ever since then it's definitely been building up since then. So I mean, if Star Wars Knights of the Republic sold me, I'm definitely getting Fracture.
Maybe a little Maniac Mansion then, Caleb.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Fracture has amazing AI. How does that affect your gameplay? A good AI, a bad AI.
I want the AI to be as hard as possible. I don't want it to be a little sorry AI to where I can kill and maybe a second jumping in there. I want it to be the best AI I've ever played in a game.
For sure, for sure. It really makes or breaks a game. Adam, wouldn't you agree?
Yes.
Are you with me?
Yes, exactly. It's what makes or breaks me, because my artificial intelligence needs some tinkering. Thank you, Joel, for reminding me of that with that conversation. Let's go to Olivia.
All right, thanks, guys. Now, recess is over, boys and girls, and E3 History 101 is back in session. For most, the convention floor is where it's at. However, through the years, the E3 media events have provided some memorable moments of their own. In 2003, Nokia had an interesting media event to promote its new system, the N-Gage, but they really delivered it when it came time to answer how much. The following year at E304, Nintendo's new Faceman came out to make a very strong statement. Sound up. My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass, I'm about taking names, and we're about making games.
My name is Reggie.
Remind me never to mess with a Nintendo. Okay, enough of that. Can you guys still hear me? Let's talk games. You might be surprised to learn how some of your favorite games showed. We'll have that for you tomorrow in E3 History 101. Let's check in with Morgan right now at the Fairmont Hotel. Morgan?
Hi. I went to a couple press conferences so far. We'll start off with EA. Now, they focused almost their entire press conference on casual gaming. It was a really interesting move from them. I think they saw how successful Nintendo's been with making games for the masses, and they're trying to jump on that bandwagon. One of the games they showed off was a game called Boogie, where you actually have your Wiimote in your hand and you kind of dance, and you have a character that dances along with you. You can also sing with your character, and he'll sing along with you. You can, clothe them and create your own character, and they had songs like the Pussycat Dolls and kind of fun songs like that. It sounds a little childish, but it actually looks like a lot of fun. I think it's going to appeal to a wide audience. Another fun game they showed was Playground. Now this is going to have dodgeball and tetherball and little soccer games and that kind of thing. Like a lot of fun mini games that people have a good time with at any age. They showed another quiz game called Smarty Pants. Microsoft also showed a quiz-style game, so I guess people are kind of jumping on that bandwagon. They did show, actually, a screenshot from the Spielberg Joint Project LMNO. It was the first release screenshot. It's a woman kind of ducking away with a bird in her hands. We didn't really learn very much from the screenshot, but, they gave us something. Then from Activision, they actually focused a whole lot on the Tony Hawk game. There's 3 different kind of skaters you can be. You could be a career skater to try and make money. You could be a hardcore skater. You can create your own tracks, and they're also emphasizing the fact that you can flick the analog sticks in order to nail the trick or grab the board, grab the rail, that kind of thing. So they're emphasizing a little bit more control over the board, which is going to be pretty fun. There's a there's a park editor, there's a skate lounge where you can build your own skate rink, and your friends can come on over and hang out with you and skate. We saw 4 new levels of Call of Duty, and actually Guitar Hero 3 has an original track and boss battle from Slash. That's all I got. Back to you guys.
All right, Morgan. I mean, that was a lot of stuff, and we appreciate the update, but was there one thing that you personally were most excited about?
I I was very excited about the track from Slash and the boss battle in Guitar Hero 3. You're actually going to have to, play against Slash, and Slash is good.
I know.
Slash is hard to beat. I'm excited about that.
When we had it on our show yesterday, that was the coolest thing. I mean, all these new inventions they put onto the guitar.
I like to think that I'm kind of a boss battle when you play against me, but
you're not.
I'm
so
not.
Thank
I'm
you.
actually terrible at the game.
All right,
Morgan,
thanks,
thank you so
Morgan.
much for the update. Right now, we're going to go to
Thanks, guys.
Zach Selwyn. He's got a flow report presented by Scion.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm out here on the floor with a girl who has put all the frag dolls to shame. Lily Atkins, you're hot. Who are you and why are we married? You play games? Sweet, me too.
I do play games. I'm with 2K Sports, and we're here showing off the Bigs, our all-new baseball game.
Oh, I thought when I heard the Bigs, it was something else.
Have you played it yet?
I haven't, but this looks pretty good. My man with the Louis Vuitton bag is hanging out getting autographs. You're like Ichiro, man. Nice job over there.
Excellent. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable, right?
Hottest booth here.
Yeah, I can tell. It definitely is. I mean, so you got your regular in the park baseball game here, and then we got another one over here. I'm going to go see what this guy's playing. Dude, what do you got? You're playing baseball in Times Square with Jeff Kent?
The more stuff I break, the higher my score is, so how can you go wrong?
You're pretty good at this, huh?
Yeah, a lot of the testers like myself, we play it a lot, so
Well, let me see if I can distract you by blowing in your ear.
yeah, it probably would distract me. Distracting.
See? My mission is accomplished in a bad way. Then, of course, we got this one. This is a New York subway. My man's about to go mess some stuff up. How real life is this? Like, have you ever knocked over a subway station with a AK-47 before?
I don't think New York is this dirty now. This is gorgeous.
Oh, yeah, no, that's not New York. That's the LA subway.
Exactly.
He's into his game, man. We're all into their games. Like this guy, Ryan Jones. This is a dirty game you got going on.
Back on the job, guys. Holding it down for the darkness.
Down for the darkness. We're all down for the darkness. Kevin, we're also down to go back to you on the main stage.
All right,
Thanks,
thanks,
Zach.
Zach. We appreciate it. Yeah, still ahead. It's like God of War, but with a hot chick. Yeah, we've got Heavenly Sword.
That's right. And later, the makers of Jak and Daxter go fortune hunting with a very different kind of game.
Yes, plus more from the floor. This is E307 Live on G4. You got to stay with us.
Made exclusively for the PS3, Heavenly Sword is more than just a martial arts combat game. It is a dramatic experience. It features Nariko, a beautiful but hardcore heroine and keeper of the Heavenly Sword who is out to avenge her father's death.
The rules are quite simple.
The designers at Ninja Theory are using state-of-the-art techniques such as facial capture technology to ensure the most emotionally charged performances ever seen in video game characters. Mixing dramatic elements with gameplay makes Heavenly Sword the most anticipated title for PS3 this year.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Now we're here with Kyle Schubel. He's the producer at Sony Computer Entertainment, who's been giving us a wonderful look at this game, Heavenly Sword. Kyle, let's just start off really simple. The game, it is not an arena fighter.
No. No, it is not.
Okay, good. That's a lot of people thought from last year. How about you hop on there and start showing what's going on to help illustrate that?
Well, just to show you. Oh, go ahead.
Well, no. You tell us what you were going to say.
Basically, to give you an idea, if it is an arena fighter, this is your arena. Because if everybody remembers some of the previous demos, we had that little building way off in the distance there in between the two waterfalls. That would be the arena from E3.
And this is an open map that more or less that is rendered there as it was rendered in that demo.
Exactly. In fact, we're going to go ahead and take a little jaunt down this rope here.
All right. Oh, yes. I've seen this before. This is awesome. This will help also illustrate a lot of the gameplay devices.
Exactly. Well, the fun one is this is actually a ninjas or a hero sequence, which we use. The hero sequences are something to help you actually transition through environments and do things that are more spectacular than I would ever want anyone to have to do in a video game. This could be a touch frustrating if I actually had to physically go through and do the whole thing. Last thing I want to do is die playing my own game.
I believe this is what Kevin has been referring to as badassy.
Yes, sir. Right about there.
All right, and of course now the fighting starts. So what is the combat like inside of it? Is it like God of War, or what is the style?
Well, what we've got is you've got a combat system which has got some similarities to God of War. I mean, it is a sword fighting game with a over-the-top action as I get my butt knocked down here. But what we've got is a combat system that allows you to switch stances. We've got a speed stance here, which I'm tooling through a few guys. You also have a power stance where I'm going to merge the two swords together and make this big old great sword. As you can see, it does a little bit more damage. Now the other fun one is we've got range stance. Get away from these guys because it is range stance. I can now knock these guys around a little bit from a distance. Now the beauty is I can switch in between these. I just went from range stance to power stance, back to speed stance.
And how complex with the controller is trying to move between these various stances?
You just hit the R1 or the L1. If I don't hit anything, I'm in speed stance. If I hit R1, let me get out of that.
Well, that's good. So obviously it has complexity, but it's not going to be something we have to memorize a bunch of buttons.
Exactly.
Now, one of the things that is immediately evident when looking at this is not only is the game very attractive, but it has a very unique art direction. I know that you hired some European designers to help put together a lot of the character models.
Well, the team actually is a very global team. Ninja Theory is based out of Cambridge, England, and they are a global team. They've got people from dozen countries. I actually don't even know the exact numbers, but I know I've already run into 5-6 different countries, people from different countries there, and it definitely shows. They tried to create a game which has, a feeling of where am I? You've got Oriental feeling buildings and outfits, but you've got Northern European characters, and obviously you look at the white skin on Neriko here, and she doesn't look like she looks like a Northern European.
Right.
But
now also with the game though, with inside of the cutscenes, it's some of the most remarkable CG work that I have ever seen. I think you guys got some extra help, some rather well-known people here on that.
Well, the CG sequences, there was a number of hands in the pie there, so to speak. In particular, Andy Serkis was involved.
He played Gollum inside Lord of the Rings.
And, he had a small part as King Kong as well.
Right.
Something to think about. They did all of the filming at Weta, which did many of the same motion capture tricks that you saw in Lord of the Rings and King Kong. One of the benefits is that Weta keeps upgrading. Every single year they do something new or different. In particular with Heavenly Sword, they went over 80 cameras, so there were 80 digital cameras on every single motion capture scene. It was the most in the world at that time. And also they did some amazing things with the facial motion capture. They had, you've seen ping pong balls on mocap before. Well, these are like peas, and they put 30, 40
that many more levels of articulation inside of the character. Well, one thing that we haven't touched on yet, though, and if we can get back in and do some more ass kicking, is why? Why is this woman suddenly possessed with such a large sword and amazing strength? What is the story behind this?
Well, the Heavenly Sword is historically a weapon which was bestowed upon man, and that weapon was given to a heavenly warrior, and he used it to eradicate, evil. There was a overlord who was holding mankind under his foot, and they used this sword with the heavenly warrior to be able to take it down. Now, the clan of the sword, the clan that Neriko comes from, is the clan that was basically bestowed with the sword to protect it from mankind because it's too powerful for any normal human, to be able to wield. The mere fact that she uses the sword actually means that she's risking her life, and she's taking the ultimate sacrifice to save her clansmen and her father, to prevent King Bohan, who happens to be Andy Serkis in the game, the big evil bad guy.
And that's the big Jabba-looking guy.
Yes, exactly. Oh, well, no, not the huge Jabba-looking guy. That's actually Roach. The king that you saw with the goblet in the video.
Okay.
Yes, the one with the good sense of humor.
Now, one more thing also is that while we're seeing some combat here with a handful of enemies, there are some things planned for later in the game that will really impress people in terms of the numbers of enemies on screen.
Absolutely. What the team has really been able to pull off is a phenomenal thing, and only possible on the PS3. With the SPUs, they've been able to get over 1,000 characters functioning on screen with their own AI. So you actually are engaging entire armies. As you master the Heavenly Sword, your powers almost become godlike yourself, just as you're about to make the final sacrifice.
That sounds like Dynasty Warriors, but fun.
I don't even want to touch that one.
Take you down with your colleague. All right. Well, obviously, Kyle, this game is definitely one I'm very excited about. I'm really glad that we got a chance to look at that and be able to share with everyone out there. Once again, good luck, and I can't wait. When will we see the game?
September.
September. All right, can't wait for that. Now we're going to go to Joel and his Stickam to see what one of our viewers thinks.
Thank you, Adam. I've got Tanner here on the Stickam. Tanner, how you doing, man?
Yeah, fine.
Oh, good. Tanner, do you think Heavenly Sword has the potential to be a flagship title for the PS3?
I don't know. With the PS3 lacking in games, it would definitely have to make up for how many they're missing.
This is true, yeah. Well, we've seen, Tanner, you're an action game fan, right?
Well, of course.
You talk man to man. You played God of War 2.
Honestly, no, I haven't.
Okay, well, it's a last great PS2 title, so now we're moving to PS3. But what kind of depth are you going to need from Heavenly Sword to make it that must-have title?
Well, it definitely would need a good fighting techniques and everything like that to make up for any tough bosses you ever go up against.
Right, so we're going to need more in-depth combos, bosses, more than just visuals. That's what I think we're definitely going to need, without a doubt.
Of course.
Without a doubt. All right, so back to you, Kevin Olivia. That is word on Heavenly Sword.
All right, well, thank you very much, Joel. Well, you know, this summer, the Electric Playground is GeForce behind-the-scenes look at the video game industry. Well, it's back with all new episodes appearing exclusively on G4TV.com. Now, the Electric Playground features they have celebrity interviews, game previews, and industry news, as well as first looks at all the hottest new tech toys, gadgets, and comic books. And new episodes will be appearing exclusively on our website once a week, all summer long. So if you want more info, go to G4TV.com/Electric Playground. And Kevin, what do you have?
I have a little tease for what's coming up. We appreciate it, Adam. Actually, Morgan has even more hot media event action going on later.
Plus, we got another lady in the house. Blair gets the latest Mario Wii adventure. That's right, the little dude with the white gloves and overalls is back, and this time he's in outer space. All this, I don't know. All this and more coming up next. So stay tuned. Find out how he does it.
He went through the wrong pipe.
Must have.
California.
We have more than a dozen cameras here and all around the city bringing you all the news and excitement live as it happens.
Now we also have the entire G4 squad out and about digging up the latest info right now.
A squad? We call them a squad now?
Well,
we're a squad?
They're a strategic attack force, if you will.
Okay.
That sounds too violent this day and age. We're going to go to Morgan Webb, who has an update from the Midway Media event. Miss Webb, how's it going? Really?
It's going great, guys. Sorry, I'm just pulling myself out of the Midway press conference to bring you guys a little bit of an update. They brought us a couple Wii games, which are less exciting. I think most people are excited about Stranglehold, which of course is John Woo, Chow Yun-fat. It looks like it is just filled with action. I'm very excited. I love playing anything with Chow Yun-fat. I even played the Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon game, and that was not a good idea. If you buy the PS3 version, you're going to get a Blu-ray copy of Hard Boiled, which I think is going to be worth every penny. I can't wait to see that in high definition. Of course, they also have Black Site Area 51. It's going to be a multi-platform game, and it's a first-person shooter that does use the Unreal 3 engine. It's going to ship in September, but in August, we are going to see a full demo that people are going to be able to play, which is going to be great. There's co-op mode, and of course, there's also a lot of squad-based gameplay, so you can actually, you tell your compatriots where to go. But a cool feature is that if you suck, then they're gonna suck. There's a morale system going on. So if you're giving bad orders, if they're getting shot at a lot, if they're dying, they're gonna start to question your orders. They're not gonna listen to you anymore. So it's really important to do well from the very beginning. So that's pretty cool. I'm very excited about that. And we also have Unreal Tournament 3. It's gonna be PCMP. It's gonna be the PC and the PS3 in 2007 and which is very cool. So in 2007 and 2008, we're actually going to see the Xbox 360 version. Back to you guys.
Okay, so that's cool. Confirmation that it's not PS3 exclusive forever.
That is
at
a
least.
good thing.
But now, Morgan, you mentioned the squad-based tactics in Black Site. If you suck, I get it. Your squad sucks as well. But if you do good, was there any indication that the AI was at all halfway decent, that they would do good along with you?
If you do well, if you're going to give good orders, they're going to really perform very well for you, and they're going to do a little bit better. So it's really important for you to do well from the beginning.
All right. Well, that means I'm out entirely.
No, you're pretty good.
I suck at games.
No, that's
Thank
a
you,
lie.
Morgan.
That's a lie. Thanks so much, Morgan. Now, at each E3 announcements are made that send shockwaves through the world of gaming. Here is our list of the top 5 E3 announcements of all time. First up, last year's introduction of the playable Nintendo Wii. That's right, Kevin's excited. That same year, we found out that Grand Theft Auto 4 was losing PlayStation exclusivity. In 2003, Half-Life 2 was unveiled. And 2002 marked the reveal of Xbox Live. And finally, the original mind-blowing E3 announcement, the unveiling of the Nintendo 64 in 1996. On that top 5, do you have a top one you like?
I think the unveiling of Half-Life for me
Yeah?
was just such a turning point. It got me back to feeling excited about games. It was something that I wasn't expecting at all. I had no idea what was going on.
Have you lost that excitement for gaming?
No, I mean, really, this year, again, the focus is on the software,
Yeah.
not on the hardware and kind of crappy titles that were whipped up for it. This year is the year that I'm finally getting excited to be a gamer again.
It's cool. Going out there, it's just all games.
Yeah.
All games.
Miss the booth babes. Not gonna lie. Miss
Well,
Chartreuse.
I think you and Zach and Joel and Adam all miss those booth days, especially Will.
We speak for the gamers. Up next, get ready for the return of the Game World's Italian Stallion. Of course, talking about Mario, he's back, and this time, he's out of this world, Olivia.
Literally.
Literally, actually. We're going to see what's making noise, of course, on the Buzz meter. Stay tuned. There's so much more coming up right here.
He jumps like this.
All right, I am so happy to be here with Reggie Fils-Aimé. He's the president and chief operating officer of Nintendo of America. Thank you for your time.
Adam, thank you.
All right, so Wii Fit. This definitely was a surprise. Are you trying to reach a new audience with this or find a new way of using the Wii? What's your objective with it?
Sure. You know, our objective with the Wii Fit is all about expanding the audience and taking advantage of what consumers are already doing with Wii Sports, right? They're using it to work out, to lose weight. This just drives it in a whole new way. Plus, with the Wii Balance Board, it opens up a whole new range of games that use balance. Imagine skateboarding, surfboarding, all of that type of content now could be a whole lot more fun.
Now, I think it's good to point out that Wii Fit, it does have some very pure exercise qualities, but it seems to have a lot of game stuff in it as well.
Absolutely. We showed off a soccer heading game between myself and Mr. Miyamoto. We also have a marble game. We have, there's a skiing component in the demo that we're showing downstairs. So there's a huge range of real gaming applications beyond the focus on health.
Now, there's some other really neat peripherals that you were showing off. One of them was the Wii Zapper. It looks like it's bringing back some of the classic games that we used to play in the arcades. What is, what are the other applications of it other than the traditional light gun game that we've seen?
Sure. You know, it'll be best for first-person shooters, right? And bringing that whole experience to what you enjoyed in the arcades. Plus, by bringing this type of accessory to bear, we think, again, it's going to make first-person shooters more accessible, easier to get into. But the beauty is, if you don't want to use the Zapper and you want to go to a more traditional Wii Remote and Nunchuck play, you could do that as well. It's all about broadening the audience and giving you a new feel for the games you love.
Okay, I think the most exciting of the three, for me personally, was the wheel for Mario Kart. How is that going to work, and is it essential to actually playing the game?
You know, the wheel is specially designed to have a trigger underneath your finger for the power slides, right? So it does add an element to the gameplay and make it that much more fun. Plus, you know, I have to tell you, I've used it. I've played a little Mario Kart, and it really plays well utilizing the wheel. We're going to pack the wheel in when we first launch the game, so it's going to be very exciting.
Now, in terms of some of the games that are coming out in the future, there's been the concern, which you addressed yourself at the press conference, you know, there's so much new innovative stuff that's really for a very broad audience, but the hardcore gamers are like, hold on, what about us? Do we have more coming? Obviously, you do have a few games coming out. One of them is Metroid.
Absolutely.
But in terms of down the line, is there stuff in development we can look to?
You know, we've announced Metroid Prime 3 coming out at the end of August. We've got Mario Galaxy in the middle of November. We've got Smash Brothers dated for December 3rd. All great core gamer games, more than enough to keep people excited. And absolutely, we've got great new content in development as well. And so for that core who's saying, what about me? The answer is, we have a lot for you. Plus, all of the third-party games, Madden, FIFA will take advantage of online. It's going to be a fantastic holiday for the Wii owner.
Now, also with the third-party games, you have had quite a few come out. Some of them don't seem to be up to the same standards as the stuff that's coming out of Nintendo. Now, I have to be honest, what I saw at the press conference when they showed Medal of Honor, and I believe there was a couple of other games, it seems that there was a lot more care given to the look and the feel of the games. Do you think you're getting more attention now from third parties to make higher quality games?
Well, absolutely, and our sales results really drive that. You know, we're sitting here at a 2.8 million unit installed base here in the United States. Double the level of PS3, double the level of Microsoft at this point in time in their launch. So third parties are looking at this saying, okay, let me understand this. Great installed base, sold out every day, and low-cost development. Everything makes sense for them to get into, and what's happening, recognizing the potential, they're making sure that they're putting their best content and their best developers working on Wii.
Now, obviously for you, we're all a little past the one-year anniversary of when you rolled out the Wii for the first time at one of the most phenomenal media briefings I think I've ever attended. How does it feel now that you've gone past the point, you've proven yourself? Is it more hard work ahead? What do you see ahead for you guys?
You know, it's absolutely hard work every day. And by that I mean The good news is we're driving growth, we're leading innovation, but that just sets the bar at a higher level.
Exactly.
And we have to continually come out with new products, new news to drive it forward. That's why we launched We Fit here at this year's press conference. So for us, we're setting the bar higher and higher for ourselves, and it makes it a hell of a lot more fun.
All right, good. I think it's more fun for us as well. Thank you so much, Reggie.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome, guys. Thank you for that. For more on all things Wii, just go to g4tv.com/E3.
Much more to come here from E307 Live in beautiful Santa Monica, California.
Yeah, 2 years ago, Metal Gear Solid 4 was presented at E3. Today, we're getting a close-up look at Snake's new Battleground in the full-length trailer.
And it's cute, it's very sticky, and now it's on the 360. We roll around with the latest Katamari.
And speaking of cute, our own Morgan Webb takes us on a behind-the-scenes tour of Call of Duty.
Yeah, if you need to blink, do it now because you won't want to miss a second when E307 Live returns. Don't blink. Are you blinking? Don't blink. Oh, wait, you can blink now.
I'm trying to...
Welcome to Rapture, a disturbing underwater world where you are trapped and forced to fight for survival in BioShock.
Your entire genetic code has just been rewritten.
The object of this gory first-person shooter game is to defend yourself against bloodthirsty genetic mutants in a utopia that has gone terribly wrong. Your enemies include the Big Daddies, Little Sisters, and Splicers. In BioShock, the bad guys do more than just attack you. They react to your sounds, to each other, and injured mutants even seek medical treatment, so they can come back and fight even stronger than before. 2K Games developed this game for the PC and Xbox 360. BioShock is scheduled for release later this year.
Thanks, guys. Now we have one of the most gorgeous games at the show made by the people who brought you System Shock 2. Here's Ken Levine from Irrational Games with a hands-on demo of BioShock.
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to be
Thank you
here.
for coming. Thank you for bringing BioShock. Now, we saw that it's a shooter, yes, but it's not just a shooter. Tell us a little bit more about what more you can do.
Well, one of the great things about BioShock is that besides the incredibly deep story and the incredible visuals you saw in the environment, we really want to make a game that empowers the gamer to make a huge amount of choices, both moral choices and gameplay choices. First of all, everything in the world of BioShock can be turned into a weapon, and that's what the demo we're going to show you today. That everything in the environment, every enemy, every threat can become an opportunity.
And you know what? Let's actually start this up so we
let's fire it up.
get a look at this.
All right, so we're in a part of the city called Arcadia here, and
this city's called Rapture, right?
Called Rapture,
okay,
yes.
so this is a section.
And it's underwater forest, and these guys are trying to get in to stop Hoagie, the guy demoing here, to do what he's trying to do. So we're going to try to set up a defensive perimeter. And he put a proximity mine on the door. He put a trap bolt, an electrical trap bolt, and now he's repositioning it using telekinesis. He's getting ready for this assault. And Hoagie, there's a medical machine over here.
What's that?
That's a cyclone trap. I'll tell you about it in 1 second.
Okay.
There's a medical machine, and Hoagie's going to hack this machine. Enemies, when they get damaged, will run to it, but now they get poisoned by it if they run to it.
So you've already actually described about 5 different things that you've already used inside this game. How much variety are we looking at in terms of weapons, and devices, and powers?
God, there's so many. There's 8 different weapons.
And those are traditional weapons like guns, that kind of thing? Okay.
But they're all modifiable.
Okay.
So each of the weapons is modifiable. And then we have around 60 other powers in the game. We have 20 of them are called plasmids, and these are these genetic powers you put in your hand, like things that like Electro Bolt, which not only in most games you think of an electrical power, something that does like 2d4 electrical damage. In BioShock, it will shut down machines, the Electro Bolt.
Oh, so you can just like electrically overload the machine with your shocks.
And then you can hack it, whether that's a turret, whether that's a bot, whether that's a security camera. When it stuns people, and then they'll take more damage from an attack once they're stunned. We call it the 1-2 punch. You stun them with Electro Bolt, and you come in with the with a wrench or whatever weapon you want. And and then if they're in water, the water will conduct electricity and actually do damage to them and other enemies in the water. We have Incinerate, which is like a fire power, but that fire behaves as you'd expect it to in the world, and it spreads from object to object.
So is this a linear game, or is this more of an open world? experience?
We really try to lay it out to feel like a real underwater city. You know, that's
Right.
a bit of an oxymoron. And it's fairly free roaming in that regard. It's not on the scale of a Grand Theft Auto or something, because it's a
Right.
first-person shooter. But there's it's a world with that it's not like one linear corridor.
Okay.
There's lots of exploration. There's lots of nooks and crannies off that you can explore. So it's really cool in that regard.
Now, is this also a game that you're going to play all of it in one playthrough, or what happens with successive plays?
Well, first of all, I think in terms of one playthrough, I think we just have people playing it actually through, and it's around 20 hours.
Wow.
For a first-person shooter, I think
That's
it's really
a lot.
extraordinary. And in terms of replayability, and we've talked a lot about the little sisters and the big daddies.
Right.
How you deal with the little sisters, whether you choose to rescue them or harvest from them, that leads to really different gameplay and story paths. So
That brings up a little bit about the Atom, which is sort of the resource that everybody's fighting for. And you can talk maybe a little bit about the Little Sisters. Just give us a short pitch, because I know a lot of people have heard about it.
Well, in the world of Rapture, in this failed underwater utopia, there are, in order to collect that genetic resource, there's only one entity who can do it, and that's called the Little Sisters.
Oh, so everybody's after the Little Sisters.
It's like they're carrying around what the oil is to us,
Right.
Atom, this genetic material, is to them. So they're walking around the world just looking for dead bodies to harvest this genetic material after this war, and protecting them are these lumbering big daddies, these guys.
Oh, those guys look so
And
scary.
you know what? Also, we now know that with the special collector's edition of the game, you get a pretty nice figurine of that Big Daddy. So well designed.
I just saw it, and literally, it's like compared to my head, and I have a big head. it's like this big. It's heavy and big and
That's
awesome.
like 7/8 of a Ken Levine head.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get him to send us a couple of those.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for joining us.
My
Love the
pleasure.
game. We're very excited. Can't wait to play it. And let's talk to Joel, who's watching with a viewer. Joel, take it away.
Thank you, Morgan. We've got Phil from Pittsburgh here. Phil, what's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm really psyched for this.
I'm psyched too. You're really lucky you got BioShock. What did you think of BioShock based on this particular demo?
I have to say, there's one thing. I think this is the next Metroid Prime. I think this is the next first-person adventure. Puzzles, the gameplay, the using the genetic stuff, it all looks so awesome, man.
It looks unbelievable, Phil, but let's take it a little deeper. Let's talk about the moral choices. Phil, how do you think moral choices are going to extend the gameplay for a title like BioShock? We've seen it before, but what about this particular title?
I think I've got to say, for me, from perspective, I always try and do the right thing. So, I mean, in this game, having to sacrifice power so I can do the right thing, it's hard to say because, I love that more and more games these days are trying to include mental conflicts for the player.
Yeah, indeed, Phil, and it's actually more interactive, too. The morality is actually being incorporated into the game engine, right?
Exactly. I mean, with games like Fear, the horror of that, the interactive, I love that because of how cinematic it was.
Well, I love it too, Phil.
for-
Thank you so much for being on. Let's go back to Kevin and Olivia. Kevin.
Thanks,
Okay,
Joel.
Phil, quick note. Phil in Pittsburgh, Kevin and I, we love you.
You are awesome,
We
buddy.
love you.
He's my new form avatar. There's lots more awesome gaming coming up when our live exclusive coverage of E307 continues right after this. This is going to be a treat. Call of Duty 4 is the first installment in the World War II shooter series to go modern. So here we are with Vince Zampella of Infinity Ward to get a look at what we can expect. Vince, thanks for joining us.
Our pleasure.
Thank
How you guys
so
doing
much.
tonight?
So, okay, this game looks incredible. I think the audience needs to see it. So let's
Let's
get
fire it
rocking
up
on
and
this.
get it going, because really, if you had, Adam and I had chatted about this, if you had shown me this game about a year ago, I would have laughed and said, it's pre-rendered, you're a bunch of liars, I'm sorry. How did you achieve this level of fidelity on a 360?
Well, we were the first title to cert for the 360. So we've been working on the hardware, as long or longer than anybody in the industry. So that really, gave us a good launching pad to spring into what we have here.
Now, what is the setting? Obviously, you were dealing with something very sort of realistic in the sense of World War II. This is more modern. Are you taking some liberties with reality?
Well, we've crafted a fictional story. We want that feeling of that seesaw battle of back and forth, equal forces, battling it out. You don't know the outcome. So we have a villain named Zakiev, who's a Russian ultranationalist trying to overthrow the government.
Of course, it's a Russian.
You know. He's working with his henchman in the Middle East named Al-Assad. He's staging a coup in the Middle East to diversify the reactionary forces for him. So you'll play as the Marine Force Recon in the Middle East, and you'll play as the SAS in Russia. So, we get that good feeling of playing both sides and that.
Do you feel you have more freedom as a creator when you're not tied down to being historically accurate or recreating a battle a certain way? Here you have complete freedom to have the skirmish the way you want?
Absolutely. I mean, World War II, awesome setting, rich history. This gives us the ability to do things and go places where we haven't been before. We're not tied down by any historical boundaries. So this story is crafted based on our ideas that we've been welling up in us for the last 4 years.
Sure.
Now, obviously, this is some very, very intense action. Now, what we saw back at the media briefing with Microsoft was something that seemed to be more stealth-oriented. What is the balance we're going to see in the game?
We have a really good variety of gameplay in the game. We go from, it's not a lot of stealth, but it's there. You also, if you've seen some of the footage of the AC-130 gunship, where you take the gunner's seat in an AC-130 and get to rain down death from above. And we have some vehicle rides. We have some all-out action. We have, the cargo ship where you're, small squad high action.
Sure.
So we kind of ramp that intensity up and down to give the player something new at every turn.
Now, I've heard, this sort of create a soldier concept where you can kind of customize your character. Can you tell us a little bit more about how that works?
Yeah, that's for multiplayer. We've had the multiplayer this time around, starting with a working game. We started on the multiplayer from day one. So we're really delivering a rich, deep multiplayer. So what we've had is called Create a Class. You can tweak and tune your character based on your style or, the game modes that you're playing. And we have, the ability to choose your weapons, the attachments, suppressors, sights, camouflage on the weapons, and we have a system called perks, which allow you to fine-tune. You can pick something called stopping power, which gives you extra bullet impact. Your bullets do extra damage, or you can pick extra ammo, and they're balanced out. You have 3 different perk slots, but perks are slot 1 perks, slot 2 perks, slot 3 perks, so it's really balanced. If you choose extra ammo, you can't pick stopping power.
Of course.
So we've balanced it out that way to really allow it. But you can pick, if you're in CTF and you're a flag runner, you want to pick like extended sprint and extra health.
So yes, it's clearly a very, very comprehensive.
Yeah, it's not.
Absolutely.
Now, back on the technical side, when we look at Call of Duty 2, which I do believe this is kind of an outgrowth of the Call of Duty 2 engine that you created.
Correct.
What kind of new things are we seeing added on to it that's obviously making this game look so impressive as it is?
Wow. The renderer is all new, as you're seeing, the fidelity of what we've been able to achieve here. We have a new physics system, really lightweight, that keeps the frame rate. We're at 60 hertz frame rate. Gotta be.
That's really important to mention here, because as beautiful as the game is, it's when you look at the breakneck pace of everything, the responsiveness of the camera and the player, it's unparalleled.
We totally agree, and especially when you reach this level of fidelity where the animations are realistic, and we do all spend all this time and money on motion capture to make things that realistic. You want it to be displayed the best way possible.
And you get Napoleon laughing at you when you get capped in the head. Apparently, that's nice to see.
Now, I think one of the best things about Call of Duty 2 was the sheer intensity of the firefights. We felt really in the middle of something very chaotic and scary. You guys are doing that here. What is the way that you approach this level design when you design a game like Call of Duty 4?
We pick out a lot of settings that are going to be, fun and plausible settings. We do a lot of kind of temping it out and seeing what's going to be fun. We've probably thrown away, half as many levels that are going to ship in the game because they weren't fun, they weren't ready, they weren't, we do a lot of test this, test that. We bring in testers off the street.
See which setting will give the player the biggest seizure when the anti-aircraft guns are going off and everything's lighting up.
That if your jaw's not on the floor when you're playing, we did something.
Mine jaw is on the floor just watching it.
Yeah, I know.
The particle effects are gorgeous as well. And now, is this, when you're playing online or even in single player, like I saw a guy get shot in the legs, it looked like he was realistically taken out from the kneecaps. Is there actually pinpoint accuracy with the bullets?
Yes, there is.
So if you're online, a headshot's going to deal more damage than
That will not only deal more damage, the reaction. We have a lot of reactions to how you're, when you get hit, what you do. If you get shot in the leg, you're going to do this. If you get shot in the head, everything is tied to being realistic, being immersive. We want you to believe this is a real experience.
Oh, I see a tank lock on. Come on.
I want to believe.
This apparently isn't the...
That's the Javelin anti-tank weapon.
Oh, man, I was waiting to see that.
Yeah, we got to see it go. He'll do it again here.
All right, here he is, running quickly. Get that lock on the tank. I see soldiers.
And?
I see a telephone pole. Watch out.
There it goes.
Oh.
We got to see this.
Okay,
That actually is set to attack the tank from above at its weakest armor.
What? Oh, that was gorgeous. Wow,
Yeah,
that was well worth the wait.
In the game.
Vince,
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it. Can't wait to get our hands on this game. Right now, we're going to turn to Joel Gordine to get the reaction from you guys at home. Joel.
Thanks, Kevin. We have got Chase from Ringgold, Georgia here. Chase, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Chase, you a big Call of Duty fan?
Oh, yeah, I like Call of Duty a lot.
Great.
I like the World War II setting.
Okay, cool. We're moving from World War II to the modern era. What is your favorite change in Call of Duty 4?
Well, I really like the modern weapons. Like, I love M4 rifles and 50 caliber snipers, but my most favorite thing, like, in the game is the ghillie suits and the night vision and stuff, because I love sneaking up on my enemies.
Yeah, the night vision looked great with the lasers, huh?
Oh, yeah. I love the laser sights. I love all that. I love...
Chase, talk to me about the multiplayer customization. Are there things that are going to be exploited there?
Well, I love, like, how you can make your own class to, like, just customize yourself and stuff. Like, I love all that for the multiplayer, but...
Sure. Do you think things are going to be imbalanced because of it?
Do I think oh, yeah. Well, I think it'll be balanced.
Well, who knows? We'll have to see till we play the multiplayer. But, you know, when we're on live, sometimes you see some people exploiting different things that are maybe overpowered. What do you think of that?
I don't really have a comment for that, but...
All right, well, thanks, Chase. Kevin, back to you and Adam.
Chase has that confident, cool attitude going on. I'm Kevin, by the way. Thanks, Joel. Call of Duty enters the modern world this fall. Olivia and Morgan, now, what do you guys have coming up for us?
Okay, just ahead, we review the EA roster with the man who sets it, company's president, John Riccitiello.
Plus, the current saga of Master Chief reaches its epic conclusion this summer as Bungie Studios drops Halo 3. If you missed the beta test, there's no need to throw yourself on a grenade, because Chris Gore has a preview.
And the moment all of America has been waiting for, G4 unites for an historic concert live on the stage with Rock Band. It will be messy.